I'm going to be honest with each and every one of you. If you used any of these classes today that we're going to go over, you weren't a good person. You did not bring honor to your family.
Dishonor on your whole family. Make a note of this. Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Call of Duty gives you so many weapons to pick from. So many, and you choose these. Did you want to get roasted by the entire player base? Do you actually care about the integrity of the game? You're really gonna look me in the eyes and tell me you were skilled if you ran the LSAT with a target finder and a riot shield. So first, you equipped one of the most busted LMGs in COD history. Then you said to yourself, hey self, you know what? I'm gonna make this even easier for myself. And then you equipped the cheapest optic in Call of Duty history. And then you said to yourself, hey self, you know what? I'm gonna make this even easier for myself. So you equip the riot shield as your secondary so you would never get hit from behind, and you can make yourself this little head glitch whenever you wanted to. Now, to be fair, this isn't the combination that people discovered on their own, because Treyarch actually put it as a default class. But at the same time, that didn't mean you were supposed to equip it to your own class. Integrity, my friends. Call of Duty integrity. The LSAT with a target finder was already busted on its own, but then you threw the riot shield on your back and just made yourself a ninja turtle, made everything so much cheaper, and then if you went out of your way to run this, just know, you were making this otherwise excellent game worse for everyone. Kind of like the ACR with Silencer and Assassin and Stalker. Yeah, now the ACR was just part of Modern Warfare 3, right? There's no getting away from it. It was by far the best assault rifle in the game. Most people would agree it was the overall best gun in the game. I'm okay with that. We could go back and forth on it in the MP7, but there was at least a few dignified ways to use it. This class was not a dignified way at all. You threw on the Silencer to keep yourself off the radar. I get it. You threw on Assassin so nobody could see you coming on UAVs or portable radars. Maybe you're a rusher. I get it. And then you threw on Stalker so you could hold down the ADS button and zip around the map with perfect accuracy. I get it. Now, if you were running the Specialist Strike package, then obviously you were going to get every single perk at once eventually, but if you spawned in with them, you're kind of a scumbag, aren't you? You were taking the best gun in the game, you were spawning in with it with the cheapest advantage possible so you could run circles around the map right out of the gate. And you could say, well, Jimmy, that's just good class building. But there are dignified and not dignified ways to build a class, my friends. There is. If you were an Assassin and Stalker through the Specialist Strike packages, I commend you. That was dignified. If you chose to spawn in with them, it's a little shady. A little shady. Speaking of shady, the MP40 with Juggernaut and World at War. Now, if you're running the Jug on anything, you were already kind of that guy, you know? But if you were running it with the MP40, you were so shady nobody could even see you. You were John Cena shady. The MP40 had a 2-shot kill damage profile by default, which is wild to even say, so you didn't have to use stopping power. It opened the door for Juggernaut as your red perk. And you know what everybody hated back in the day? Juggernaut. Hitting somebody in the face with a sniper rifle and just getting that little Juggernaut icon pop up instead of a kill, it was infuriating. So imagine how frustrating it got when somebody was running around the map, tanking bullets like they're Iron Man, all while spamming the most OP gun in the game at you and still getting 2-shot kills despite not even using stopping power. Yeah, you younger COD players, you were spared a lot of frustrating things from the Golden Age. So now, let's fast forward to a completely dishonorable class for a more recent game that a lot of you are more familiar with. The MW12 with Dragon's Breath in Black Ops 4. It's one of the first fire shotguns in Call of Duty history. Hooray! And the MW was a secondary pump shotgun. Pretty decent damage. But it also had the Dragon's Breath Operator mod, which would set the enemy on fire after you hit them. Now, this was a game that had manual healing. So that burning effect would almost always kill the target before they could hit the heal button and finish the animation to keep themselves from getting dropped. And you know what? It was cheap. And since it was a secondary weapon, you could technically carry it with you at all times. Black Ops 4 had a longer time to kill. We all know that. I think that was supposed to make the game more skill-based, but stuff like this, well, it ended up making it feel really cheap and dishonorable. Seriously, fire shotguns completely contradicted the design of the game. I'm not really sure why they were there. And since we're on that topic, how about one that I know all of you are spamming, even if you won't admit it? Circle of Trust in the comment section. Just let it out. Let it out. We're going to have a session together, a therapy session. The Flaming Doof Doof in Modern Warfare 2019, the last great Modern Warfare game. I won't even say the name of the gun. I'm not going to say it. You guys know what I'm talking about, the Doof Doof. It was busted on its own. Totally didn't need fire shells to make it good, but then there was plenty of you D-bags out there who didn't think it was strong enough. So you decided to slap on your fire shells so you could try even less to get free kills. If you loaded into shipment or shoot house and you heard that doof doof sound effect and saw those sparks flying across your screen, you knew it was going to be a long match. Personally, I would just calmly homer back out of the lobby. I mean, I don't know, I didn't feel bad about it. I wasn't going to stick around for people to spray fire at me for 10 minutes while plugging their Twitch stream as if they were going to get any viewers from it. Seriously, did any of you ever actually tune into somebody's stream after they killed you with the doof doof if they had .tv or whatever in their name? I don't think a single person in the history of the world ever actually did that. Hey, this guy just shot me in the face with a doof doof, set me on fire. Let me stop, let me pause, let me go manually enter his URL, and I want to go watch him because he's entertaining. Since we're crapping on Modern Warfare players, let's keep going. The M4 with Overkill 725 in Modern Warfare 2019. It's thankfully been patched out, but the first few months of the game, it was everywhere. So the M4, of course, by far the best rifle in the game. The Overkill perk, completely overpowered, and the 725 was also completely overpowered even if you didn't have any attachments on it. So people, they would run a loaded M4 as their primary, slap on the old Overkill perk, and then put a naked 725 in their back pocket as their secondary. They would spray the M4 to everybody with a bunch of free kills. Then they swap to their insta-kill boomstick, get a few more free kills before reloading both guns and doing it over and over again. So after a few months, Infinity Ward said, oh, this is not good for the game. They nerfed the Overkill perk. They moved it to a new category so it couldn't be as abused as easily as if you were doing it the first few weeks. I mean, it was prevalent. It was. People were already pissed off about the Claymore spam and Little Timmy camping spots and the doors, and then this got slammed on top of them as well. It's not hard to see why people hated this game so much. How about we stop dumping on Modern Warfare 2019 for a couple minutes, right? Let's go with a classic. The M27 IAR with the thermal sight. Call of Duty Ghost. Could have been something special. But instead, it was Call of Duty Ghost. Now, there was many problems with the game. And on top of all those problems, there were people who decided to make the experience even worse for all of us with a thermal M27. I do not understand how anybody could enjoy using this. It was basically the target finder LSAT strat, but even slower and more boring and methodical. People would legitimately just equip this class, go find a bunch of tall grass or heavy shadows, lay prone, stare out of the sight like they were hunting deer. And this was a game where the maps were so big, these people would literally spend minutes at a time just holding the left trigger and waiting for somebody. Waiting for anybody to run into their line of sight so they could light them up. And you know, if I'm talking about you, you know who you are. You probably shouldn't reveal yourself in the comment section on this. I always tell you guys it's a circle of trust, but I feel like if you admit to this one, there's probably going to be some problems. Now let's go over to COD 4. Let's go back just a little farther. The M16 was stopping power in Deep Impact. How many of you know about Deep Impact? Now the M16 in the game, we already know. Busted by default. Fire rate, recoil, handling speeds, could land a one burst kill from basically anywhere as long as you were hitting your target above the waist. But if you threw on stopping power, it became a 2-shot kill through mid-range and a 3-shot kill across the map no matter what. Then, the cherry on top of the sundae that was the M16 is Deep Impact. Shred through walls and cover like tissue paper. Allowed you to continue the domination even if the enemy team was hiding from you. The M16 was already kind of a dishonorable weapon in COD 4 because of how busted it was, but this perk combination leaned into the overpower stats. Felt super disrespectful. Obviously, we all used it. We can admit it. I admit it. But it wasn't honorable. If a gun is this OP, usually there's an unspoken agreement between players are not going to abuse it, right? But this class was it was the opposite of the unspoken agreement. It was taking the OP weapon and making it even more OP just to spit on the graves of everyone else on the server. We all did it. What we all didn't do, at least myself did not, was use the SG-12 with a strobe light in Black Ops 4. Now, if you needed a free infinite flashbang in order to spam a shotgun, I'm going to tell you, you're bad at the game. Let's be real. The spam shotgun wasn't enough. You had to add the strobe light so you could get an unfair advantage over the people who were already having to deal with a stinky little kid like you spamming the SG-12 at them. You weren't aiming. You weren't being precise. You were spamming the right trigger over and over again. Then you added the strobe on it because apparently that wasn't enough. I mean, was there a single legitimate defense of this strat? Was there a single way you could make it sound dignified? Try. Please comment to me. I don't think there was. And yet, it's still not the most dishonorable way to play Call of Duty because that title goes to, are you ready? There was never any doubt. The most dishonorable way to play the game was in Modern Warfare 2. One-man army, danger, close, noob tubes. Ha! There's no doubt, right? OMA danger close was one of the most obviously busted things in Call of Duty history. And then you start spamming grenade launchers with it, and you were the most hated person in the lobby. Being able to launch a miniature nuke across the map twice, and then just getting to replenish it with one-man army and do it infinitely until you got a not miniature nuke. This is one of those things that people hate about the game, but they also love about the game at the same time, which is crazy. Even if you were having the time of your life doing this, you knew that it was undignified. You knew it was dishonorable. You knew it just wasn't how Call of Duty was meant to be played, but you did it anyway because you didn't care. You wanted the free nuke. You were greedy, so you could go to school the next morning and tell your friends that you finally dropped a nuke in Modern Warfare 2. You're not going to tell them you used OMA or Danger Close or Noob Tubes. You're just going to tell them it was pure skill. I mean, you're going to lie to them, and you're going to lie to them about how you got it, but it is what it is. So there you have it, my friends. Let me know a couple dishonorable ways to play Call of Duty other than the ones that I have showcased for you here. I'll see you soon.